Hi everybody, I'm Tracy. Welcome to my channel. So I've taken a little break, not because I wanted to, just because I was kind of having a hard time figuring out what type of video to put together, but I think I've come up with something that would be helpful for you guys now that it is in full-blown Christmas season. So I'm gonna go over the few brushes that I've got recently that are new to me. Actually, there's just two that are new to me, and then give you guys some examples of gifts that you guys can purchase for someone that is really into makeup. Maybe they've already have a pretty extensive brush collection, or if they have not, introduce them to some really amazing brushes that I'm sure that they'll love. So all the brushes I'm going to recommend are ones that I use regularly. I'm not going to mention ones that I don't feel are useful. So first of all, let me go over the two brushes that I received. This was after during the Black Friday special, and it was a little disappointing because it was still a $50 minimum, but either way, it was not hard to get to that. So the first one is the G5538, and I got this in hopes of duping the Sonia G Soft Cheek, which is one of my favorite brushes. I'm not going to go over this too much because I've spoken about that many times. So this one, it has a similar shape, but obviously it's much smaller, and this is dyed goat hair and this is undyed. The ferrule is much bigger with the Sonia G, but they're both round ferrules, and the Sonia G brush handle is just a tad bit longer. So with this one, it is going to bloom a lot because I've received brushes from Hakuhodo that are of this kind of shape and hair type, and it does change a lot. So I haven't had a chance to wash them yet, but anyways, I want to give you guys an idea of how it applies blush, so you can decide if you want to get this one. And I'll have all the different brushes listed below so you guys can reference them later. So I'm going to use the Hourglass, this blush right here. I've used it maybe once, so this is sort of a first impression. I'm going to use it like how I do my Sonia G brush. And the purpose of these types of brushes is to provide a really light application of powder products. So for someone that has really pigmented blushes, contour, or highlighter, this is a really good type of brush to have, because it's hard to overdo your blush with something like this. So I don't know if you guys can see how that applied. I'd say it's fairly similar to how my soft cheek brush performs. It's just that it's going to soften up a lot, and I'll try a little bit of highlighter that's right here too. So this type of brush will really just lightly apply your highlighter, which is what I like. Now on film, highlighter actually looks a lot more intense than it does in person. So that's how this brush did this. And then on the other side, this is kind of a bad example because this is the other brush I got. It's the medium Yachiyo tapered brush. So I use the medium flat one. This is considered purple, but it means flat. I use this one all the time. I use it for mainly cream products, and it works really well. And this one is going to bloom. Like, look at how much more, how much this one has bloomed over the past few months. But the ferrule, if you want to call that a ferrule, is the same size. So I'm going to use it, but it's not going to be a really good example of how it's going to perform. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a little bit of cream blush on with this so you guys can have a good idea of how this works, and then I'll put a little highlighter on with this. So one of my favorite blushes is the Salty Siren Nude Sticks cream blushes. So the way I do this, I just go directly on it. I used to use my hand, but it's just another thing to have to wash, and I just pat it like this. That's why I like this shape, because this is how I tend to put on my blush. If you want to use this for a powder, it's really good for kind of like hard pressed powders like the NARS blushes. So that's how it does the cream blush. And then now I'm gonna use this one for the highlighter. So it's actually like really lightly applying the highlighter. I just wanted to see, want you guys to see this one in action, and at another time I'll wash it and I'll show you guys what it looks like after it's been washed. So those are the only two new ones. I got a couple of the eye brushes, but I've already talked about them in a few videos, so I'm not going to go over that anymore. But now I have some recommendations that if you guys are looking for gifts for someone that is really into makeup, that you want to kind of treat them or even treat yourself, I have a couple of really good ideas that I'll show you guys. So one is the J5523. It's like this. It's $19. This is very, very useful. I use this one every day. And then if you want to kind of do something a little more special and spend a little bit more, this brush comes in other types. Like it comes in this one, which is the black series. So it comes with this gold-plated ferrule, and this hair is a little different. It's a little bit more luxurious, and it does perform differently. It's not as it doesn't get as fluffy, but it's a really beautiful brush, and I'm sure if anyone were to receive this, they would love it. And another one that I really, really like is the 246. This is actually J246HS, but it also comes in just a 246. The 246HS is $17 and the 246 is $19. So you can do like maybe like two of these and give someone like a nice starter eye brush set. And then if someone maybe has like a little bigger eyes, the J242HS. This is $18. This is better if you have more lid space, although I used it and I don't have a lot of lid space and I really like it. And then another one that I use almost daily is the J210. And so I've used this on previous videos. I use this for contour and kind of like sculpting out my face. I use it for cream products, but it's good for either cream or powder. And then one brush that I use only for powder bronzer is the K022. So this one is going to come really tiny, but once you wash it, it gets really fluffy. And for a fluffy powder brush, this is very reasonable. This is $45. Most of the other powder brushes are going to run you closer to $100. So I think this is a really nice gift, and I didn't use it much at first, but now I've really started to appreciate this brush. So I would recommend this one too if you're looking for something in the $45 range. And then if you guys don't want to pay for shipping with Hakuhodo, because I don't believe they're going to do any more specials. They might, but chances are they're not. There are a few brushes that I use that are on Beautylish, and there's one, I'm not going to really talk about this one because I just checked and this is out of stock. But this is the Goss 2, and it's really amazing. It's very inexpensive for a squirrel hair brush, but it's not available, so I'm not going to really mention that. There's three other ones, and this is the very first natural hair brush I got, and it's the Goss airbrush, and this is available still. And it's $35. It's made out of really, really soft squirrel hair, and I use this to kind of like spot powder under my eyes and like here, and like before I film, you know, a little here. and it's a very useful brush. I just use it for like powdering, but some people do use it for contour and blush. I've just never tried it for that, but I'm sure there's many other ways to use this. So I highly recommend this one if you're looking for a gift. And then the Wayne Goss number 12, this one, let me just, yeah, it's the 12. This one is my favorite sculpting brush that I use to kind of contour here, and here, also blending out cream products. This is really good. It's very firmly packed, and the shape is pretty unique. It's, you know, kind of like a paddle shape, but it's not too long, and it's firm, but it's not so firm that it's gonna mess up your foundation or anything. And then another this is kind of a specific type of brush, but it is available on Beautylish, and that's the mini cheek from Sonia G. So this is a very unique brush because of its shape, its size, and the fact that it's made out of two different kinds of hair. It's a combination of regular white goat hair and dyed goat hair. So the reason why she does that is because dyed goat hair is a little more fragile, and the hair cuticle has more kind of like splaying, so it picks up product better. It's a little more fragile of material, but it does kind of lend a lot of softness versus just undyed goat hair. Although a lot of these are soft, the dyed types that she makes, they're, I want to say softer, but that's quite not the word. They're more, they attract more powder. So I would say this type of hair picks up more than like just regular goat hair. But this is really good for highlighter, and that's pretty much all I've used it for. But it's a very unique shape, and it's a very unique design and material. So that's that. Also, I have whole reviews of the smooth buffer. So this one is my more expensive brush. It's $70, and you can look at my previous videos. This is for a very specific type of person though. It's, for me at least, it's only really worked with finishing powders, and I very rarely use finishing powder. So maybe for someone like me it doesn't make sense. Or you can use it to contour and bronze, but I would say for someone that has a more advanced makeup skill, not for a beginner, because I had a hard time kind of figuring it out. I'm sure I could master it, but it was a little bit harder. I prefer my other brushes to do bronzer and contour and things like that. So I'll have all of this listed below. I just wanted to get this out there before Christmas comes, and hopefully this helps you guys if you're looking to buy a gift for someone or to buy a gift for yourself. All right, that's all. Thank you for watching. Bye.